Elizabeth Taylor says she can't remember a time when she wasn't famous. Famous for her acting, her illnesses, her friends, romances, husbands, and divorces.
Hollywood's golden age was built on glitz, talent, and towering legends who seemed larger than life. But beneath the polished studio system and glamorous premieres lay a different reality, an undercurrent of passion, rivalry, and taboo that shaped these stars as much as their iconic roles. The stories you're about to hear aren't just about whispered rumors. They're about brazen confessions, boundary-breaking affairs, and shocking entanglements that shook Hollywood's foundations. Whether it was a woman hosting wild parties where no desire was off limits, or a starlet rumored to have connections at the highest levels of politics, each actress left behind a legacy of intrigue and scandal that still fascinates today. So sit back and brace yourself. This is the side of classic Hollywood that even the best press agents couldn't contain. Mae West.
Well, when I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
Mae West was never shy about her desires. Some claim she once bragged of sleeping with hundreds, if not thousands, of lovers, and her appetite was said to be insatiable. Hers was a rare combination of bravado and humor. She didn't just live on the edge, she practically built her own stage there. Known for constantly surrounding herself with muscular young men, Mae turned her private life into a carnival of flirtation and indulgence. She called sex an art form, and she made it her masterpiece. Studio executives, working-class fans, and star-struck admirers alike filled her bedroom cast list, and rumors ran rampant that she frequented her own private gym just to keep an eye on the fit young men she hired as trainers. Some insisted she indulged in romantic encounters multiple times a day, as though it fueled both her creativity and her defiant sense of freedom. In an era when society insisted women keep their passions hidden, Mae West laughed in the face of convention. With her signature one-liners like, "I never loved another man as much as I loved myself," she was a public figure who let her private escapades define her brand. Even decades after her passing, the mention of Mae West still conjures the image of a woman whose appetite for life, laughter, and lust could never truly be contained. But as outrageous as Mae was, she wasn't the only one breaking rules in pursuit of her deepest urges. Another actress, equally unapologetic, took sexual freedom to new heights, scandalizing both men and women who entered her orbit. Lana Turner.
I've got my vanity. Now I don't feel dressed without my lipstick.
Lana Turner was the ultimate Hollywood siren, ethereal on-screen, tempestuous off-screen. Her involvement with gangster Johnny Stompanato sealed her place in scandalous history. Their romance was a mixture of intense attraction and violent confrontations. When they weren't tearing each other apart verbally, they were said to be entangled in passionate encounters so frequent that the line between love and hate all but disappeared. The press feasted on the drama, but the real shock was yet to come. In a tragic climax, Lana's teenage daughter, Cheryl Crane, fatally stabbed Stompanato, claiming it was to protect her mother. The incident rocked Hollywood, splashing across headlines worldwide. Rumors suggested Stompanato had threatened both Lana and Cheryl in a rage, pushing the daughter to a frantic act of self-defense. Whether or not the precise details will ever be known, the scandal overshadowed Lana's film career for years as public curiosity about the actress's private life skyrocketed. Yet the Stompanato affair was just one chapter in Lana's complex romantic narrative. She was also rumored to have relationships with heartthrobs like Tyrone Power and Fernando Lamas, connections fueled by swift, passionate affairs that often fizzled as quickly as they began. Despite the turmoil, Lana wore her sexuality unapologetically, declaring that love and desire were cornerstones of her identity. While Lana's misfortunes exploded in a single tragic night, one icon's rebellious spirit burned brightly across borders and genders, making her an international symbol of forbidden desire. Barbara Lamar. Barbara Lamar's story is the essence of living too fast and too hard in an era that offered little guidance for young women. She was married 5 times, beginning at age 17, an age many would consider far too young for such commitments. Even earlier, at around 14, she was caught dancing in adult clubs, a clear sign of her penchant for danger and rebellion. If there was a boundary, Barbara seemed compelled to cross it. Parties became her favorite refuge, late nights swirling with jazz, glamorous guests, and endless indulgences in alcohol, and sometimes even more dangerous substances. All of it contributed to her wild reputation. Hollywood seemed to feed on her restlessness. She was embraced for her beauty and vivaciousness, yet few saw the toll it took on her body. Tragically, she eventually contracted tuberculosis and died at just 29, leaving many to wonder how her star might have continued to rise had she managed to slow down. In a strange way, Barbara's all-consuming lifestyle mirrored the frenzy of early Hollywood itself, a place where dreams were made, illusions sold, and consequences often ignored. While Barbara's life ended young, others, like Lupe Velez, faced a mental and emotional unraveling that also led to devastating choices. Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner's reputation was built on her stunning beauty and a frankness that seduced nearly everyone around her. Frank Sinatra, who married her, famously called her the greatest love machine he ever encountered, and the stories of her insatiable energy only boosted that mystique. She indulged passionately with her partners, often more than once a day, and seemed drawn to both the excitement of new conquests and the drama they inevitably caused. Raised in a modest background, Ava quickly became a global star. Her face splashed across magazines and film posters. Despite the outward glamour, her personal life was a storm of conflicting emotions. She famously tangled with Sinatra in heated fights that would just as quickly turn into passionate reconciliations. Their chemistry was rumored to be so potent it verged on destructive. Outside of their marriage, she entertained rumors of affairs with everyone, from Ernest Hemingway to the billionaire Howard Hughes, who chased her relentlessly but never fully claimed her heart. Perhaps even more daring were the stories that emerged from her time in Spain. She fell under the spell of bullfighters, celebrating their victories and heartbreaks until dawn. Friends recalled lavish parties that blurred the lines between an epic fiesta and a private romantic escapade. Ava seemed to thrive on the thrill of the forbidden, seeking new experiences as though normal life could never quite quench her thirst. Yet, as explosive as Ava's life was, at least one star found her name eternally tied to whispers of White House-level entanglements. Marilyn Monroe.
As I said, it's my hometown.
Yes.
Marilyn Monroe remains one of the most iconic symbols of Hollywood, the platinum blonde goddess with a soft voice and an allure that toppled giants. But behind the camera flashes and her playful screen persona lurked deeper, more complicated desires. Whispered stories spoke of how she allegedly captivated President John F. Kennedy and possibly his brother Robert, weaving herself into a web of secrecy that added to her enigmatic legacy. Her love life played out like a series of heartbreaks and controversies. Joe DiMaggio, her second husband, reportedly struggled with her high libido and constant need for affectionate, physical connection. Friends whispered that Marilyn craved intimacy so much she would demand it multiple times a day. This intense desire became a point of contention, reflecting the emotional scars she carried from a difficult childhood. Even after divorcing DiMaggio, she careened through rumored affairs with co-stars like Yves Montand and Marlon Brando, each encounter seemingly magnified by her star power. Marilyn's personal confessions to close friends painted a picture of a woman searching for genuine affection in a world that saw her primarily as a commodity. Her alleged White House connections only heightened the sense of danger around her life, as though her beauty could spark powerful men to risk it all, while she, in turn, risked her own well-being in pursuit of love. If Marilyn's dalliances flirted with the halls of power, another star's private affairs ended in a crime scene that remains one of Hollywood's most notorious scandals. In a strange way, Barbara's all-consuming lifestyle mirrored the frenzy of early Hollywood itself, a place where dreams were made, illusions sold, and consequences often ignored. While Barbara's life ended young, others, like Lupe Velez, faced a mental and emotional unraveling that also led to devastating choices. Marlene Dietrich.
Actress?
Actress or
Actors.
actors?
Well,
Marlene Dietrich exuded a magnetic allure, transgressing social norms both on and off the screen. Openly bisexual, she didn't bother hiding her lovers, male or female, much to the shock of a conservative society. Rumors claimed she could have multiple intimate encounters in one day, and her circle of conquests included actors Gary Cooper and John Gilbert, as well as noted literary women like Mercedes de Acosta. Far from the standard homewrecker label, Marlene carved a space for herself where experimentation was an essential part of her essence. When she wasn't seducing leading men, she was seen at exclusive clubs or behind the scenes at glamorous Hollywood soirees, casting her spell on socialites and politicians alike. Studio heads tried to rein her in, but she was unstoppable. Diaries and letters that came to light decades later only fueled the mystique, telling of discreet weekend getaways where the world outside ceased to exist. One tale described a weekend with a powerful executive locked away in a luxury suite, emerging only for essentials before returning to their indulgent retreat. Marlene's fearless approach to intimacy often provoked both admiration and condemnation. Some called her progressive, others whispered that she was dangerous. In truth, she was simply unafraid to sample life's passions on her own terms. Yet for every star who embraced that power, another found heartbreak or manipulation in the pursuit of fame. Tallulah Bankhead.
You know why? Because I can't remember names. It all began when I was a very small child.
Tallulah Bankhead had a reputation that hovered somewhere between legend and myth. She openly declared her inclinations, entertaining flings with men and women, never once apologizing for who she was or what she wanted. The phrase voracious appetite might be an understatement. Stories circulated of wild parties in which she hosted some of the biggest names in Hollywood, as well as aristocrats and socialites, curious about this brazen actress with the cutting wit. Perhaps one of the most infamous details of her life was her rumored standard, supposedly inspired by John Barrymore, whose physique and endowment left her permanently spoiled for lesser lovers. Tallulah, with her trademark flamboyance, boasted that few men could measure up, a declaration that both scandalized and intrigued Tinseltown. She would deliver these provocations with a wicked grin, reveling in the shock on people's faces. The rumor mill also churned with tales of her daily demands for physical intimacy, sometimes with multiple partners in a single day. When confronted about her lifestyle, she supposedly quipped, "I'm as pure as the driven slush," a line that perfectly captured her blend of humor and audacity. Far from trying to hide her affairs, Tallulah practically put them on display. Anyone stepping into her home stepped into a carnival of hedonism, where flirtation was a given and inhibitions were left at the door. She simply refused to recognize the boundaries that governed polite society. As with Mae West, Bankhead's boldness became part of her public persona, a reflection of the independence she saw as every woman's right. Yet not all such adventures were lighthearted. Another Hollywood figure found her own love life entwined in emotional warfare that would shape her destiny and scandalize the press. Joan Crawford.
Oh, I don't know. You know, Rosanna Brazzi was in this film, and he's done 87 films.
Joan Crawford was a woman who mastered the art of using her romantic liaisons to navigate Hollywood's male-dominated system. Rising from a hard-scrabble childhood, she relentlessly pursued success. And if sleeping with producers or powerful executives could help, she wasn't above it. One of the industry's worst-kept secrets was her relationship with MGM head Louis B. Mayer, a liaison that many believe jump-started her career. She also famously carried on a years-long affair with Clark Gable. Although Gable was married, their on-screen chemistry was mirrored by clandestine encounters off-screen, causing gossip columnists to feast on the speculation. Crawford's ambition was an unstoppable force. She had a reputation for using her allure to secure better roles and better contracts. Some labeled her manipulative, while others viewed her as a survivor who did whatever it took to thrive in an unforgiving industry. Nevertheless, behind the polished veneer, Joan's life was burdened by whispered rumors of cruelty toward her children and intense feuds with fellow actresses. Her multiple marriages, some of them strategic, others sparked by genuine passion, fueled further speculation about her insatiable appetite for physical and emotional connection. Joan cemented her name in Hollywood's pantheon, a star whose raw need for validation and stardom drove her decisions both in the bedroom and before the camera. She was far from the only one to pay a price for chasing thrills, and some stars, like Barbara Lamar, burned through life at a pace too fast for their own good. Lupe Velez.
Hello? Where's Newton Police Station? Oh, óigame.
Lupe Velez, famously dubbed the Mexican Spitfire, commanded attention with her fiery demeanor and quick temper. Audiences adored her passionate performances, but that intensity spilled over into her personal life as well. She romanced megastars like Clark Gable and Charlie Chaplin, yet she never seemed secure in those relationships. Jealousy plagued her, especially when she suspected a partner might be interested in someone else. One of her most significant feuds erupted over Marlene Dietrich. When rumors flew that Dietrich and Gable had grown close, Lupe didn't hesitate to launch verbal attacks, even threats. Her distrust and temper made her personal life tumultuous, laced with flare-ups that everyone in Hollywood gossiped about. Some insiders said she fought so fiercely because she loved just as fiercely and couldn't bear the thought of losing someone to another woman. When it emerged that she might have been carrying the child of a man already married, her despair peaked. Feeling betrayed and humiliated, Lupe made a decision that shook everyone who knew her. She deliberately swallowed a lethal amount of sleeping pills, even in her final hours. The actress who lit up the screen with her vibrant personality could not find solace. Lupe's tragedy stands as a sobering reminder that a fiery spirit can just as easily burn from within. Meanwhile, others found themselves entangled in love triangles so dramatic they led to rumors of murder. Elizabeth Taylor.
Fired this about a month ago. His
Really?
name was gorgeous.
Elizabeth Taylor dazzled the world with her violet eyes and mesmerizing talent. Yet the press often focused on her love life, and for good reason. Married 7 times, Elizabeth epitomized the unstoppable pursuit of romance. From stealing her best friend Debbie Reynolds' husband, Eddie Fisher, to her tumultuous marriages with Richard Burton, she lived a life that was a constant whirlwind of passion, jealousy, and public scrutiny. Tabloids devoured her every move. She had an almost magnetic pull on men, and it wasn't just about her looks. She had a commanding personality that both intrigued and intimidated. Her union with Richard Burton was the kind of legendary saga that kept fans riveted. Fiery fights, extravagant reconciliations, and lavish gifts that became symbols of their on-again, off-again. Even in later years, long after her divorce from Burton, Elizabeth's flamboyant approach to love never truly faded. She simply chose eventually to live more privately, but not without the echoes of a scandalous past trailing her every step. However, Elizabeth wasn't alone in weaving grand romantic narratives. Another actress from the UK, famed for her refined glamour, found her off-screen desires so powerful they shattered social norms. Marion Davies.
Oh, you're common. I may be common, but I don't pick up with that kind of trash.
Marion Davies found herself in the crosshairs of a high-stakes love triangle that involved 2 of the most influential men of the era. William Randolph Hearst, newspaper magnate, one of the richest men in America, and a married man, was besotted with her. Charlie Chaplin, the comedic genius adored worldwide, also harbored feelings for Marion. What resulted was a tangled web of jealousy and suspicion that reached a boiling point. When the director Thomas Ince died under mysterious conditions aboard Hearst's yacht, rumors spread that Hearst's jealousy had driven him to a violent mistake, possibly confusing Ince for Chaplin in the darkness. Hearst's massive influence over the press allowed him to steer the narrative, leaving the truth buried under layers of speculation. Marion tried to keep her head above water as the scandal threatened to swallow her career. In a sense, she became symbolic of the chaos unleashed when powerful men clashed over love. Historians still debate what really happened on that yacht, but the tragedy only cemented Marion Davies' place as the actress who found herself at the mercy of a media titan's wrath. Such stories demonstrate how deeply entwined personal relationships and public image were in early Hollywood. Even so, some actresses discovered that fame couldn't protect them from malicious rumors or financial exploitation, as Clara Bow tragically learned. Linda Darnell.
You get a big, like a charge, like a vitamin shot? I'm around old, tired people so much and getting old and tired.
Linda Darnell began her career as Hollywood's quintessential sweetheart, playing gentle, innocent characters. But the real Linda longed to shake that image. She wanted to prove her range, her complexity, and her ability to take on daring roles. Unfortunately, such aspirations often come with obstacles. Behind the scenes, Linda was betrayed by someone entrusted with managing her finances. They vanished with a significant portion of her money, leaving her distraught and nearly penniless. Demoralized, she turned to alcohol to cope with the sting of betrayal. That spiral came with its own cost: fewer offers, more tabloid gossip, and a series of romantic disappointments. 3 marriages tried and failed, each overshadowed by rumors of more affairs. While fans saw only the glamorous star, Linda wrestled with depression, feeling trapped in an industry that simultaneously idolized and exploited her. Her passing at 41 in a tragic house fire ended her hopes of a career resurgence, leaving behind a cautionary tale about how quickly fortunes can turn when personal struggles intersect with Hollywood's harsh spotlight. At least Linda's memory wasn't overshadowed entirely by scandal, yet some, like Elizabeth Taylor, became inextricably linked to their sensational private lives as much as their cinematic achievements. Vivien Leigh.
This is Vivien Leigh in London.
Vivien Leigh's porcelain beauty and acting prowess, especially as Scarlett O'Hara, immortalized her in film history. Behind that poised exterior, though, lay an unrelenting desire that upended her life and the lives of those around her. She pursued Sir Laurence Olivier even while they were both married to other people, initiating a relationship that sparked gossip across the Atlantic. Their affair began in Capri, an idyllic paradise overshadowed by the knowledge that they were betraying their spouses. They divorced their respective partners to be together, yet their marriage wasn't free from drama. Vivien's battles with mental illness added another layer of chaos, fueling rumors of frequent affairs, allegedly with directors, co-stars, and even political figures. Some accounts described her as someone who needed the thrill of seduction to maintain her spark, never content with ordinary domestic life. This restlessness placed an immense strain on her relationship with Olivier and contributed to their eventual split. Still, her insatiable appetite for both creative passion and romantic intrigue made Vivien Leigh an unforgettable figure, a woman who refused to let any obstacle, whether moral or emotional, stand between her and what she wanted. Such fearless indulgence found a parallel in yet another actress who refused to tone down her flamboyance for anyone, someone who made headlines for extravagant gestures and rumored affairs that included the highest seats of power in America. Jane Mansfield.
My goodness, I guess I feel the same way as the Tower of London feels.
Jane Mansfield was often called a modern incarnation of Mae West, thanks to her platinum hair, revealing outfits, and outspokenness about her desires. She pushed boundaries, using her physical allure as both a shield and a spotlight, and never hesitated to court controversy. An iconic photograph captures Sophia Loren casting a disapproving glance at Mansfield's famously low-cut dress, summing up just how polarizing Jane's persona could be. People either saw her as a brazen attention seeker or a liberated woman living life on her own terms. Rumors hinted at an affair with President John F. Kennedy, although nothing was conclusively proven. More bizarre was her connection to Anton L., the founder of a controversial religious group. Some claimed she toyed with him for amusement, letting him think they were intimately close while mocking his fascination behind his back. The real truth of their relationship remained as murky as many of her alleged romances. Her life ended abruptly in a devastating car accident at just 34. Anton L. later claimed he had placed a curse on Jane's boyfriend, who also died in the crash, adding a final macabre twist to her already storied legacy. Like so many who came before, Jane Mansfield refused to play by the rules. The women of Hollywood's golden age weren't just silent symbols of beauty and fame. They were complex, passionate individuals who pursued their desires in an era when doing so was considered taboo. Their stories remind us that behind every glamorous photograph lies a human being chasing what they crave, sometimes to the brink of ruin. Clara Bow.
One more picture, and I hope that you all will like it very, very much.
Clara Bow was the original It Girl, a silent film sensation whose carefree charm and magnetic screen presence made her the darling of the 1920s. But her life off-screen was anything but carefree. She became a prime target for bullying, blackmail, and exploitation. A disgruntled newspaper employee wrote vicious articles about her that spread falsehoods, tarnishing her reputation in the public eye. In an era before robust libel laws, Clara had limited ways to defend herself. Adding insult to injury, her father, who was supposed to help manage her finances, failed her. Money that should have secured her future slipped away, leaving her vulnerable to opportunists. One particularly painful betrayal came from a personal secretary who stole from her and, when exposed, fired off even more damaging lies. The relentless stress took a toll on Clara's mental well-being. She withdrew from the spotlight at the height of her fame, retiring before she was even 30. Clara's downfall highlighted a vital lesson about the fragility of stardom in an industry driven by rumor and sensationalism. Though she'd once been hailed as the epitome of flirty youth, the same public that adored her quickly turned when scandal was served on a silver platter. Another actress would similarly discover that Hollywood could be unforgiving when personal demons and career ambitions collided. Old Hollywood's biggest stars weren't just icons of style and talent. They were rebels who defied the repressive norms of their era. Whether it was Mae West's unapologetic bravado, Tallulah Bankhead's flamboyant seductions, Marilyn Monroe's White House gossip, or Elizabeth Taylor's legendary romantic entanglements, these women showed that desire could be both a creative force and a destructive one. Their private affairs often shaped their public images, blurring the lines between myth and reality. These stories remain fascinating not just because of the illicit details, but because they reveal a hidden side of Hollywood, one where women leveraged their sexuality for power, sought genuine love in a system that commodified them, and navigated personal demons, all while performing for the world. Their legacies live on in the films they left behind, and the cautionary tales woven through countless biographies and behind-the-scenes confessions. They teach us that the pursuit of passion, while thrilling, can come at a steep price, and that not even the brightest stars are immune to burning out. Thank you for diving into this journey through Hollywood's hidden scandals and forbidden desires. If you're hungry for more true stories, unsolved mysteries, and behind-the-scenes revelations, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps us uncover the intrigue, drama, and passion that still cast a shadow over modern entertainment. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Did any of these stories surprise you or make you view these legends in a new light? Stay curious, stay bold, and we'll see you in the next deep dive into history's most captivating secrets.